Sometimes you don't have to chase people, you just have to stop running from yourself. That line hits hard, doesn't it? Because deep down, we all know, it's not their distance that hurts the most, it's what their silence forces us to face inside ourselves. Hey folks, imagine this for a second. You're standing on the edge of a quiet lake. You throw a pebble, your thoughts, your emotions, your anxiety, and the water ripples endlessly. That's what most people do after a breakup. They keep throwing stones, calls, texts, apologies, hoping the other person will finally notice the disturbance. But here's the truth, most won't tell you. The more waves you create, the cloudier the reflection becomes. Still, water reflects. Disturbed water doesn't. It's the same with attraction. They'll come back faster when your energy is still enough for them to see themselves again in your calm. But let's be honest, folks. You've probably been told, go no contact. You've heard, act like you don't care. Yet no one explains why it works or why it doesn't when it's forced. Stoics understood this centuries ago. They said, he who angers you conquers you. Meaning every time you react, every time you obsess, you hand over power like a servant presenting a crown. You think you're waiting on them, but really, you're waiting to return to yourself. My friends, we've been sold lies. We've been told that love equals pursuit, that caring means convincing, that silence means loss. But what if silence is actually your signal? What if it's the universe clearing space, not for them to fill, but for you to rise? Think about a magnet. It doesn't beg the metal to come close. It simply becomes magnetic. Its power is silent. Its pull is natural. That's what this Stoic guide is about, becoming the magnet, not the noise. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Your heart will try to argue. It'll whisper, but they'll forget me. Or, what if they find someone else? And I'll tell you the truth. They might see someone else, but they won't feel someone else the way they felt you once you stop chasing, because no one forgets the calm after the storm. You see, people don't return to comfort, they return to peace. Comfort fades, peace haunts. So as we move forward, we'll break down exactly what you must do first before they come back. And trust me, when you do this one thing, the balance shifts. You stop waiting, they start wondering. You stop chasing, they start checking. Because when you master your silence, they start hearing it louder than your words ever were. So stay with me, my friends. We're going to peel back every layer of this: psychology, energy, emotion. And by the end, you'll understand why the fastest way to make them come back is to stop trying to make them come back. Remember this truth: you can't lose what your peace protects. Type it in the comments right now. My peace is power. Show yourself, show the world, and let's begin. Number 1. Stop the noise before the knock. When nothing seems to be happening, something powerful is happening inside your silence. That quote might sound like a paradox, but that's the very thing that makes it powerful. Most people panic in silence. They think silence means they've been forgotten, replaced, erased from the story. But my friends, silence isn't the end of your story. It's the pause before the shift. Picture this: you're standing in a room with 20 radios all blasting at once. One's playing regret, another's screaming fear, another's whispering what-ifs, and right in the middle, you're trying to hear the faint sound of them missing you. You keep twisting every dial, calling, texting, posting, waiting. But no matter how much you tune, all you get is noise. That's what happens when you can't sit still with your emotions. The louder your mind gets, the harder it becomes for life, or for them, to find you again, because attraction doesn't flow through chaos, it flows through calm. Now maybe you're asking yourself, but if I stop reaching out, won't they forget me? Won't silence push them further away? That fear is the trap. It's the lie that keeps most people stuck in emotional noise. You think that presence equals importance, that constant reminders equal love. But the truth, my friends, is the opposite. Absence is the amplifier of value. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, The nearer a thing is to stillness, the nearer it is to power. And that's exactly what happens when you stop reacting. When you stop sending energy through every anxious thought, your silence becomes magnetic. It begins to whisper louder than your words ever could. But I get it. It's not easy. The mind doesn't like silence. It feeds on loops, on overthinking, on what-ifs. You'll feel that itch to check their page, that urge to send just one message, that pull to prove you still exist in their world. But here's what you must understand. Every time you chase reassurance, you teach your nervous system that peace depends on someone else's response. You give away your authority. Imagine an eagle flying high in the sky. It doesn't flap in panic when the wind shifts. It glides. It lets the storm carry it higher. You're that eagle, folks. You're not meant to chase small wings through clouds. You're meant to rise above the noise until the world below goes silent. So let's break another lie. The lie that doing nothing means losing. The truth is, silence is not inaction. It's invisible action. It's the ground repairing itself after being torn apart. It's the ocean retreating before it sends the next big wave. The world moves in rhythm. Advance, retreat, stillness, surge. When you master the rhythm of stillness, everything that's meant for you starts moving again. Yes, they might wonder why you're quiet. They might even test you, poke the silence, see if you'll flinch. But that's where most people fail. They break right before the shift. Remember this. Silence doesn't punish, it purifies. It filters out what's weak and invites back what's real. Now, will it be uncomfortable? Absolutely. You'll feel the emptiness echo back at you, and your fear will try to label it as loss. But that emptiness isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's the sacred space where you finally stop reacting and start returning to your center. Because when you fill that silence with peace instead of panic, you become untouchable. Ask yourself this: what if silence isn't about getting them back, but about getting you back first? What if their return is just the side effect of your stillness? Because the truth is, they can't knock if the noise never stops. They can't feel your absence if you're always present. The Stoics used to say, "To one who is disordered within, the whole world appears in disorder." Meaning, if your inner world is chaotic, no external situation will ever feel right. So before you try to fix the situation, you fix the signal, you quiet the static, you clear the channel, and soon enough, they'll feel it. That quiet shift, that sudden peace where your old energy used to live. They'll sense something's missing, your attention, your emotion, your presence, and they'll start searching for it again. That's when silence stops being a void and becomes gravity. My friends, I'm not telling you to play games or act cold. I'm telling you to take your power back by mastering your energy. You're not withdrawing love, you're withdrawing noise. You're creating space for both of you to remember what peace feels like. And believe me, peace is unforgettable. So from this day forward, whenever that urge hits to text, to check, to worry, remember this line: stillness is not the absence of movement, it's the mastery of it. Write this down in the comments right now. I move in stillness. Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that you understand. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Stay with me, because what comes next will take this power even deeper. We'll uncover how detachment doesn't mean disconnection, it means control. Number 2, the detachment reset. Detachment isn't the absence of love, it's the presence of strength. That quote right there, my friends, is the line that separates those who move on with peace and those who keep reliving the same pain over and over again. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to control. Imagine holding a glass of water straight out in front of you. It doesn't matter if the glass is half full or half empty. What matters is how long you hold it. 1 minute, no problem. 10 minutes, it starts to ache. An hour, your arm begins to shake. A day, you'll collapse from the weight. That's what emotional attachment does. It's not heavy at first, but over time, it crushes you. So let's be real. You've probably asked yourself, how do I let go when I still care? How do I stop thinking about them when my mind feels addicted? It's not your fault. You were taught that detachment equals rejection, that pulling back equals coldness. But let me break that lie for you. True detachment isn't running away, it's rising above. You don't detach to stop loving them, you detach to stop losing yourself. Folks, attachment says, I need you to feel whole. Detachment says, I am whole even without you. One is fear, the other is freedom. The Stoics lived by this. Epictetus wrote, if you wish to be free, wish for nothing that depends on another. That's power, because as long as your peace depends on what someone else does, you're not in a relationship, you're in captivity. Here's the hard truth. You can't heal in the same energy that broke you, and if your every thought, every action, every move revolves around them, then you're still trapped in the same vibration that pushed them away in the first place. Think of a fire that's burned too long. If you keep throwing logs on it, resentment, fear, overthinking, it'll never die down enough to reveal the ashes of wisdom underneath. Detachment is that cooling moment when you stop feeding the flames. But yes, it will hurt at first. You'll feel like you're losing something vital. You'll want to reach out, to remind them, to check if they still care. That's the pull of emotional gravity. But here's the secret. Detachment flips that gravity. When you release the weight, it starts pulling them instead. They start feeling your absence, your distance, your silence. They feel the energetic door that used to be wide open suddenly close, and they start knocking again. It's almost poetic. The moment you stop needing their attention is the exact moment they start seeking yours. Because human nature, my friends, is addicted to scarcity. People chase what feels rare, and nothing is rarer than peace in a world addicted to reaction. Now, I know what your mind might be whispering. What if they never come back? Let me tell you this, you'll come back. You'll come back to your clarity, your strength, your balance. You'll come back home to yourself. That's the real victory. Because once you've tasted that kind of stillness, even if they do return, you'll meet them from power, not pain. Detachment doesn't make you colder, it makes you clearer. You start seeing who they really are, not who you imagined them to be. And when that clarity hits, you realize, maybe it wasn't them you needed. Maybe it was the version of you that you lost in loving them. The world teaches us to grip tighter when we feel something slipping. But the Stoic truth is the opposite. What's meant for you doesn't need to be gripped. It gravitates. You simply have to make sure you're not holding on to what's sinking while you were meant to float. So, my friends, stop trying to rewrite a chapter that was only meant to teach you the value of space. Let the distance breathe. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. You'll be surprised how fast peace replaces panic when you stop chasing what's already running away from noise. Here's a reminder for when the urge hits. You don't chase what belongs to peace. You stand so still in your worth that anything meant for you has no choice but to return or reveal why it never deserved you in the first place. Detachment is strength disguised as surrender. It's the calm smile of someone who finally understands, if they return, it's because I let them go. So when your mind races tonight, when your fingers itch to reach out, breathe and remind yourself, I'm not losing them, I'm finding me. Write this in the comments right now. I release to rise. Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that detachment isn't cold, it's clarity. And stay with me, because what's coming next will reveal how your stillness transforms into power, the kind that makes them feel your absence like a mirror they can't stop looking into. Number 3, Reclaiming your inner authority. A man who controls his emotions controls the room, even when he's silent. My friends, let that sink in for a second, because most people think power is loud, visible, and aggressive. They think control means being the one who speaks last, texts first, or wins the argument. But true authority, the kind that draws people back, is quiet. It's the kind of still power that says, I don't need to prove I'm in control, I already am. Picture a king who steps off his throne to chase after a servant who's run away. From the outside, it might look noble. He's fighting for what he wants, but to everyone else in the kingdom, something feels off. The throne is empty. The kingdom is unguarded. The king has lowered himself to chase what should have been beneath his pursuit. That, my friends, is what emotional desperation looks like. Every time you chase validation from someone who pulled away, you abandon your inner throne. Now, you might be thinking, but what if walking away means losing them forever? That's the lie your fear tells you. It tricks you into believing that control equals proximity, that if you're not constantly present, you'll be forgotten. But the truth is, the moment you reclaim your emotional authority, you stop being forgettable, because authority is remembered, neediness is replaced. Think about the people who've impacted your life the most. Were they the ones begging for attention, or the ones whose calm made you feel their strength without a word? That's inner authority. It's not about controlling others, it's about mastering yourself so deeply that nothing external has the power to shake your core. Stoic philosophy teaches, no man is free who is not master of himself. That means if someone's silence has the power to disturb your peace, you've handed them the keys to your kingdom. You've made their presence the ruler of your emotions. But when you reclaim that power, when your peace becomes non-negotiable, you flip the script entirely. They start feeling what you used to feel. They start wondering why your energy no longer bends toward them. The human mind is drawn to strength, especially emotional strength. The moment you stop reacting, they start reflecting. The silence you once feared becomes the mirror they can't look away from. They'll wonder, what changed? Where did that dependence go? Why do I feel like I'm the one being left behind? And that's the irony. By standing still, you make them move. But let's not sugarcoat it. Taking back your authority is not easy. It's hard because for so long, you measured your worth through someone else's attention. You built your self-esteem on their responses, their presence, their approval. Reclaiming your power means breaking that habit. It's emotional withdrawal, not out of spite, but out of necessity. You'll face moments of doubt. You'll question if your silence even matters. You'll want to break your own boundaries just to feel some control again. But understand this, every time you resist that urge, you reinforce your throne. Every time you stay composed while your emotions scream, you polish your crown. Remember this, control is not suppression, it's direction. You're not ignoring your feelings, you're guiding them. You're saying, yes, I care, but I care about myself more. That's not arrogance, that's evolution. Folks, I've seen this play out countless times. The one who walks in peace always outlasts the one who acts from panic. When you stop playing emotional chess, the game falls apart because your silence removes their power to manipulate your response. Suddenly they can't predict your next move, and curiosity, not comfort, becomes their craving. You see, people only respect boundaries that are enforced with consistency. You can't say, I'm done chasing, and then peek at their stories 5 minutes later. That's like locking the door but leaving the window open. Authority demands discipline. It's not just what you say, it's what you don't entertain anymore. So from now on, carry yourself as if your peace is priceless, because it is. Don't rush to explain your worth. Don't chase clarity from people who thrive on confusion. Don't abandon your throne for attention. You can't command respect from the floor. Let your stillness speak for you. Let your absence echo louder than your words. Let your peace become the rumor that spreads in their mind. Something's changed. They're not the same anymore. Because the truth is, they haven't lost interest. They've lost control. And when that happens, their instinct will be to reach back, to test if they still have access to the version of you they once knew. But you're no longer that person. You're grounded now, centered, unmoved. You're not proving your worth, you're protecting it. So, my friends, take a breath right now and remind yourself that your emotions serve you. They don't rule you. Every time you stay grounded while the world tries to shake you, you're reminding the universe and them that you are the authority of your own life. Write it in the comments right now. I sit on my throne. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you that silence isn't surrender, it's sovereignty. And stay with me, because next we're going to go even deeper into the law of emotional gravity. Why everything that drifts away eventually circles back when you stand still in your strength. Number 4, the law of emotional gravity. What is grounded will always pull back what drifts away. Let that line sit with you for a moment, my friends, because life, just like the universe, moves by laws that most people never learn to see. Gravity doesn't chase the planets, it anchors them. The Earth doesn't plead with the moon to orbit closer. It simply exists in its pull. The same rule applies in human connection. When your emotions are steady and grounded, everything that wandered from you starts to feel that pull again. But when you're spinning in chaos, even what's meant for you can't stay. Imagine this. You're standing on solid ground, calm and still, while everything around you is moving. People come and go, emotions rise and fall, but your feet are firm. Now, picture someone else, unsteady, floating in their own confusion, disconnected, restless, trying to find where they belong. Guess where gravity eventually draws them? Back toward stability, back toward what feels steady, back toward you. That's the law of emotional gravity. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If this law is real, why did they leave in the first place? The answer is simple. They didn't leave peace. They left a version of you that was emotionally ungrounded. You were reacting, chasing, explaining, overgiving. You turned into motion, not magnetism, and motion never holds anyone. It only exhausts you. You see, when you lose your grounding, your energy starts to orbit around them. Your thoughts spin around what they're doing, who they're with, why they're silent. But the more you spin, the less they feel your pull. It's like trying to hold sand while standing in quicksand. It slips faster the more you fight. But here's the truth. The moment you plant your emotions back into peace, you reverse the direction. You become the center again. You become gravity. Stoic masters understood this long before modern psychology could explain it. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it." That, right there, is emotional gravity. You don't push, you don't chase, you don't convince. You stand. You hold your center so firmly that everything chaotic eventually recognizes your stability and orbits back around it. Folks, people don't return to what's easy, they return to what's grounded. When they leave, they wander into worlds of distraction, temporary excitement, shallow validation, but all of that eventually loses its thrill. What remains irresistible is calm. Not coldness, calm. Because calm equals safety, and safety equals home. That's why when you finally stop reacting, they start feeling uneasy. Your absence stops being silent. It becomes gravity. They start wondering why their mind keeps drifting back to you, even when they're trying not to think about you. They start sensing that something they once took for granted has become rare, stable, unshakable. It's not magic, it's the physics of emotion. But let's be real, it's not easy to reach that level of grounding. Your mind will try to pull you out of it with every what if. What if they never come back? What if they forget me? What if silence means I lost them? Those are fear's favorite tricks. Fear keeps you spinning, reacting, and giving away your center. But the Stoic path says, observe the thought, don't become the thought. Detachment doesn't mean apathy, it means discipline. It means you choose not to chase every emotional ripple that hits the surface of your mind. You acknowledge the pain, but refuse to let it dictate your movement. You stand still, like the earth beneath the storm. And here's the secret. The moment you stop revolving around them, they begin to revolve around you. That's why silence, when mastered, becomes so powerful. It's not a tactic, it's an energy reset. When you quiet the noise inside, they feel it outside. Because we are all connected at levels deeper than logic, energy travels faster than words. They might not understand it consciously, but subconsciously, something shifts. They'll scroll through memories, old pictures, old messages, not because they're bored, but because they can feel the absence of your emotional orbit. The peace you've reclaimed becomes the very thing that pulls them closer. So what do you do now? You stop chasing gravity. You become it. You live. You breathe. You move from your center. You invest in what makes you stronger, calmer, clearer. You let silence carry your message. You let stillness prove your power. Remember, folks, a planet doesn't run after the sun. It simply shines, and everything that needs its warmth finds its way back. But here's something even deeper. When you become grounded, you realize that their return is not even the point. Because what truly returns to you first is your confidence, your clarity, your peace. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Because when peace returns, everything else follows. So, when your mind starts spinning again, take a breath, feel your feet on the ground. Tell yourself, I am the gravity, not the motion. Write it in the comments right now. I am the gravity. Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that your silence isn't absence, it's alignment. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about the mystery trigger. Why unpredictability and self-containment make your energy addictive, and how being unreadable turns silence into the most powerful language they'll ever feel. Number 5, the mystery trigger. People are drawn not to what they fully understand, but to what quietly makes them wonder. That, my friends, is the secret few ever master. Because in a world where everyone overshares, the person who keeps a little mystery becomes unforgettable. The truth is, predictability kills attraction. When they can read your every move, finish your sentences, and know your next emotion before you even show it, curiosity dies, and with it, the magnetic pull that once made them chase you. Let me paint you a picture. Think of the wrapped gift under a Christmas tree. The moment before it's opened, that gift is filled with mystery, excitement, possibility, but once it's unwrapped, once the contents are fully known, the thrill is gone. The same psychology applies in relationships. When you become an open book of emotion, when they can see every thought, every pain, every post, they stop feeling that spark of curiosity that once pulled them in. Now, before you think mystery means manipulation, let's set the record straight. The Stoics never believed in playing games. They believed in presence, quiet confidence, calm unpredictability. They knew that what's sacred isn't supposed to be broadcasted. Your peace, your next move, your energy. It's not a billboard, it's a boundary. Here's the lie most people live by. If I show them everything, they'll understand how much I care. But folks, care that is constantly on display loses its power. What people chase is contrast. The light that appears after darkness, the message that comes after silence, the person who suddenly doesn't move the way they used to. When you're always available, you become a convenience. When you step back into mystery, you become a presence. They used to know your schedule, your mood, your next post. You'd reply instantly, explain your every emotion, try to be transparent to prove your worth. But transparency without boundaries isn't honesty, it's exposure, and overexposure blinds attraction. You want to know why they start to notice your absence. Because mystery wakes up the mind. The brain hates uncertainty. When you stop updating them, their mind starts filling in the blanks. Where are they? Who are they with? Why aren't they reacting anymore? Those questions begin to echo in the silence you leave behind. And the longer they echo, the more they realize they miss the energy they once took for granted. That's why mystery is not about withholding, it's about reclaiming privacy as power. Think about it like this. When a candle burns behind frosted glass, the light is softer, more intriguing. You can't quite see the flame, but you can feel its warmth. That's the kind of energy you need to cultivate. Visible, but not fully revealed. A sense of calm distance that says, I'm still here, but not for everyone to reach. Now, let's talk about the fear that tries to ruin this power. Your mind will whisper, if I pull back, they'll move on. But that's not how real energy works. If what you had was genuine, distance won't destroy it. It will define it. Because absence, when handled correctly, doesn't erase connection, it amplifies it. Mystery also demands discipline. It's easy to post a story hoping they'll see it. It's easy to drop hints, to respond fast, just to stay on their radar. But every time you do that, you break your own spell. You remind them they still have access. You turn what should be sacred into something common. You don't owe them updates. You don't owe them explanations. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself presence. The less they know, the more they start to wonder. The more they wonder, the more they feel drawn to your silence. So, my friends, start practicing the power of quiet mystery. Go places without announcing it. Smile without explaining why. Let your energy speak in tones no text can carry, because the truth is, mystery isn't about being hidden, it's about being whole. When someone can no longer predict you, they can't control you. And when they can't control you, they crave you. Because power in relationships doesn't come from attention, it comes from unpredictability wrapped in peace. Seneca once wrote, "Nothing is more powerful than a mind that remains its own secret. You don't need to prove your value, you need to protect it." So the next time you feel that urge to remind them you exist, remember this. They'll notice the silence faster than they ever notice the noise. Type it in the comments right now. My mystery is magnetic. Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that the loudest attraction is born in quiet unpredictability. And stay with me, because next we'll dive into something deeper. How to withdraw your energy, not your emotion, and why that shift changes everything about how they start feeling your absence. Number 8. The return is not the reward. The moment you no longer need them to come back is the moment they start to. That, my friends, is one of life's quietest paradoxes. Because everyone wants the same thing, to be wanted again. But the truth is, you never get it by waiting, begging, or hoping you get it by transforming. When you finally rise beyond the need for their validation, that's when the universe flips the script. You see, people think closure comes when the other person apologizes, when they finally say, "I miss you." But real closure comes when you realize you no longer need it. The power isn't in their message, it's in your peace. Imagine this. You were once a flame that burned just for them. You gave, you waited, you hoped, and maybe they walked away thinking you'd never stop burning. But something changes when you stop feeding that fire with your energy. The flame doesn't die, it transforms. It becomes light, it becomes warmth for you, and from a distance they see that light shining again, but this time they can't reach it like before. That's when curiosity turns to regret. But here's where most people stumble. They think the story ends when the person comes back. They think that moment of, "Hey, I've been thinking about you," is the victory. But no, my friends, the return isn't the reward. The reward is who you became during their absence. When you stopped chasing, you built patience. When you stopped explaining, you found clarity. When you stopped begging for attention, you discovered your own power. And that version of you, the calm, grounded, confident version, is the very reason they feel drawn back in the first place. The universe always honors alignment. When your energy no longer screams need, it begins to whisper worth. And worth, unlike need, doesn't chase, it attracts. Remember the law of emotional gravity we talked about earlier? Here's the truth. Sometimes they do come back. Sometimes that text finally arrives. Sometimes they admit they were wrong. But you'll notice something different this time. You're no longer desperate to respond. You don't feel the same pull you once did. That's not coldness. That's growth. You're no longer the person who needed their presence to feel complete. You've become the person whose peace can't be shaken by anyone's presence or absence. And that, my friends, is the highest level of attraction. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what Stoicism is all about. Not forcing outcomes, but mastering inner peace so that outcomes begin to flow naturally. So, when they come back, and yes, they often do, don't see it as victory. See it as a reflection. They're drawn not to the old you, but to the strength of the new you. They're coming back because you stopped orbiting their world and started shining on your own. And if they don't return, that's still a victory, because your worth doesn't need their recognition to exist. You've already won the moment you stopped fighting for someone who was meant to learn what it feels like to lose you. Folks, sometimes life's greatest reward isn't rekindling the same story. It's realizing you've outgrown the chapter entirely. You stop chasing closure because peace gave you its own ending. You stop checking your phone because you're too busy building a life that feels like freedom. And maybe one day they'll see it. Maybe they'll whisper, "They really changed." But you'll smile knowing you didn't change to get them back. You changed to get yourself back. So remember this truth. When they come back, don't lose the peace that brought them. Let them meet the healed version of you, the version that doesn't need to prove, persuade, or perform. Because what's truly magnetic isn't how much you want someone, it's how little you need them to validate what's already whole within you. My friends, your silence spoke volumes. Your growth became the message. Your peace became the signal. And now, everything that's meant for you will begin to move in your direction, not because you begged for it, but because you became aligned with it. So if you're watching this right now, standing between missing them and moving on, hear me clearly. Your peace is the prize. The return is just a ripple. Now take a deep breath. Feel that calm that's been growing inside you. That's not loneliness, that's self-respect, learning to breathe again. Write this in the comments right now. My peace is the reward. Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that you've learned the highest form of attraction, peace over panic, stillness over noise, worth over waiting. And if this message hits home, don't forget to press that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to remember that love isn't about chasing, it's about choosing peace first. Because the moment you master peace, they'll come back fast, but by then you'll realize you don't need them to.